Alright, well, welcome back to another video. I don't care how long this takes. We are recording until someone dies. Also, my friend's not here, so you're back to me time. I know my friend's better at voices. I guess I should be relieved. I really wanted to find Ashley, but it seems like she was trying to put distance between us. I suppose I'll pass time and study. I made my way to the study and skimmed the collection of encyclopedias. An interesting title, book, Old Theme Parks Across the World, caught my attention. With tome in hand, I settled warmly its lit study and began to live through the pages. I passed the time reading about a strange underwater theme park called Lemu. It is now 4 p.m. and no one has died yet. Ugh, how boring. Here's something that'll pump your blood up. To shed some blood, some inspiring, some exciting, and energetic music. Music? The one's a special request from many of you at home. Enjoy. Are you fucking kidding me? What kind of music is this? What the hell? Surrounding room, I looked for the speaker, hoping to block the noise, but my efforts were futile. I ran out of the study and then kept crashing through my head, amplified worse from bouncing off the hallway. Where is everyone? I learned from my friend that this game was called Dangarompa lapse. We had a discussion about it earlier, and he made a prediction. I asked him who he thought the first victim would be, and he couldn't think of a victim. But he thought my second favorite character right now, Art, he thinks he's gonna be the first murder. I hope that's not the case. I really like Art. I instinctively went to the foyer, but the door was disarmed, but it was still barricaded. What can I do? The noise was more severe at the foyer. It crashed off the walls and echoed through the chamber. Ugh. My head was pounding. I could feel vibrations in my body and my heart beating in my ears. Turning away from the main doors, I saw shadowy movement atop the stairs. Hey! Shadow disappeared. I muttered out for a cry for attention, but it was drowned out by the noise. Heading upstairs, the shadows nowhere to be seen. Shoot, where did they go? Peeked through the glass door in the closest room, the spa lounge, spotted Pandora reclined in one of the lounge chairs. Finally, someone to help with the situation. I threw the door wide open and rushed in. Music persisted as echoes of the beat flooded in the circuit chamber. Pandora, what's going on? I can't buy anybody. No reaction. Pandora? I closed the distance gently. That happened a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. Holy crap. There was no response from her. Pandora was dead. That genuinely, that kind of caught me off guard. I was not expecting it to be that quick. I darted out of the spa lounge, my tears tearing through the hall as I screamed at the top of my lungs for help from anyone. Help! 2 people swept at the sound of my voice. What is it? Stop making so much noise. The music is making enough of a racket. It's Pandora. She's... Where is she? We raced back to the spa lounge. Cyrus and Kanado's hand were bouncing immediately towards the horrifying sight. Pandora's fleet and flinched, nearly backwards from the recoil. Cyrus' expression handed a quite anger emended from him, almost playable in the air. I myself was completely drained. All I could do was stare in a cold silence. Finally, the music ceased and the new announcement began. A body has been discovered! You will be granted a period of time of investigation, and then we begin our class trial. Please accept this generous gift of a special report called the Monokuma file. It will be printed from the digital noise as it outlines the details of our poor lost friend. Your lives depend on solving this case, so get a crack on it. The announcement cut out, allowing stiff attention to suffocate the scene. Investigation. They want us to investigate Pandora's dead body. And how dare that announcement call her a poor lost friend. It's their fault for forcing us into a game. Echo, please call yourself. Ah! It appears we've been given an opportunity to right this wrong. May be difficult to swallow, but this didn't just happen out of nowhere. Someone did this. A culprit. Huh? A culprit? It's only appropriate. The culprit we are seeking is the killer responsible for the Pandora's death. His voice was firm, but I could see his clenched jaw and his eyebrows furrowed as he looked back at the body. Cannon, however, stood unmoving. She neither moved nor spoke. Since I saw her flinch at the first sight, it was like she froze. Right. The door flew open and I heard everyone clamoring at the spa lounge. She immediately fainted. Stay? The rest of the students in their way fight painting everyone's faces as they each caught sight of the spa's terrible centerpiece. Unbelievable. I wish that the announcement was made in a jest, but it appears I have been made a fool for hoping. Oh. Ah, this is too much. Why, Pandora? Why? Everyone seemed at a loss for a good reason, for sure. The Pandora said we were giving a period of investigation, but I couldn't help but think this was such a detached request. Investigate the murder of our friend? Where would we even begin? Missy's commanding voice broke the silence. So, we've been instructed to investigate such a thing. The Monokuma file should tell us all the means for death. But, how do we even start? Does anyone know the first thing about investigating a dead body? No one spoke up, but Missy pressed on. All we can do is investigate to the best of our ability. If there is a small drifting matter that plays into this, keep in mind, we must put our best foot forward in an investigation if we are to find this heartless culprit. I have a bad feeling the class trial may be an unforgivable scene. Such tragedy. Dreadful. Oh, wait. It's a tragedy. Dreadful, Modesto, that we must be the ones to discover the culprit among us. I'm sorry for my accent. I am terrible. The air was thick, but Ashley cut through. Missy's right. We need to get to the bottom. Someone killed our friends for some awful reason. It's not the ultimate prize. Murder is murder. Someone dies at another's hand, and that life is taken away. One lives and one dies. There's no gray area about it. Ashley's eyes went fiery with intent. Someone here. She trailed off, but we could fill in the blanks our own. She didn't dare utter the idea that someone standing within our ranks did this. She marched gently over and laid her hand on Pandora, sharing a moment of silence for her. The rest of the group was unnerved, but silently agreed. Missy and Ashley were stern, but they were right. I was shocked at the sight of Pandora's body, but I mostly felt sad. She looked peaceful, suspended in newfound endless slumber. The longer I looked at Pandora, the more significant melancholy in my heart grew. My heart ached to hear her voice again, to see her smile. She had so much life, and it was all dished away in an instant. I clung to whatever memories I had of her. I couldn't let her warmth, her love, her hope go unforgotten. Someone killed her, and we needed to figure out who. Not only for our peace of mind, but for Pandora's sake. Despite my fever, I was still anxious about investigating the body. It's only natural. Just this morning, Pandora was so animated, showing her breakfast pantries and getting along with everyone. Now all signs of life were erased, leaving a cold semblance of her personal. I tried to work through the nerves by asking one of the others' thoughts on the situation, that is, if anyone had anything to say. So, to quickly explain things for those who don't watch Dangarompa videos but have seen mine and wanted to watch the series, how Dangarompa works is someone kills someone and then everyone goes to a class trial and has to figure out who killed that person. This is a little different. This game was definitely made with a different idea in mind, but with the same type of game. The Monokuma file shed some light on Pandora's death. It looks like a considerable amount has been conveniently omitted. Or rather, the entire file is a personal Vegas. May I take a look? Missy handed me a black postcard-sized sheet. Monokuma file number 1. Ultimate Student Victim Report. Victim, Pandora Spray. Cause of death. Victim struggles from strangulation. No further injuries detected. So strangulation. But is that all the information we have? Unfortunately, however, we have yet to inspect the scene itself. I trust none of first witnesses shifted around anything upon arrival. No, I didn't touch anything. Saw a body, ran out for help, which called Cyrus and Cannon. Neither of them approached her. Well, there's nothing we can do. Swallowed hard. Still wasn't ready to confront the body, but steeled myself regardless. Something deep in my heart told me I needed to do this. Echo, I know what you're thinking. It's hard, but we need to face her. Okay. We got the body. I can see the scrap piece of paper. That looks like it's all for this room, so we're gonna start with the body. Pandora bracelet formed a rose gold color like my own, was now vibrant neon pink. Guess it meant she's gone. As difficult as it is, we have to search the body for seeing clues. Nevertheless, Missy was having a hard time looking directly at Pandora's body. Do you notice anything odd? Briefly looked at Pandora's neck. Her neck's in pretty bad it looks like some kind of stress. But other than that, I can't really figure anything else out. The victim report. According to the Monokuma file, the cause of death states suffered from strangulation. Let's think about it. If she was strangled with that, did the culprit strangle her with? Good question. Do you think the culprit was climbing center and used a rope? Or perhaps they were cruelty using their own bare hands? I shrugged at thought. The fact that we had to think of how the culprit committed such a thing was unnerving. What's the time frame on this video so far? Oh, only 13 minutes. Yeah, we can play a little longer. There's small scrap of paper in the pool. What's that? Not sure. I carefully finished out the scrap paper, thinking care not to take it. It was soaked, causing the words to be completely illegible. Oh, it's impossible to read? Yeah, it's ruined. It almost fell apart in my hands. A note, perhaps. However, the writing is impossible to decipher at this point. But how could you refuse to be remotely related to the case at hand? Don't know. It seems kind of out of place, though. Remember, the announcement from this morning said there was a special gift for whomever went to the auditorium. That is correct. It is possible that this note was supposed to be the special gift. Can't say. However, I noticed larger ink blots were vaguely in the shape of something I had seen before. I left the shredded paper by the side of the pool. We've seen our body, we've seen the paper. Anything else I can do? Oh, I can talk to people. I think I'm gonna be sick. I rumbled him back, take a deep breath. Hey, it'll be okay. Art completely broke out, air to stake. Understandable.
Echo. Selfish, but I never heard the announcement. I was relieved to see you standing in that room that said, Pandora didn't deserve this.
No one deserves this.
I hope she didn't suffer.
Ashley felt silent as she stared at our lost friend. I'd never seen Ashley so distraught. This is distressing to say the least. Echo, you were the first one here. Yeah, I didn't catch anyone on my way here, though, so I can say I saw anyone suspicious who could have done it. You came pretty quick after I shouted. Did you happen to see anyone? Can't say that I did. I was climbing center right next door, too. Was Cannon with you? She came out at the same time, if I recall correctly. No, I was by myself. I was in the climbing center. I left the door open if anyone would join in case of reactions. So no one came by the center, and I didn't leave until I heard your voice. I ran into Cannon shortly thereafter in the hallway, just front of the spa lounge. Weird. I didn't run into anyone on the first floor either, so whoever did it must have just vanished. That's unlikely. Regardless, how'd the culprit give us the slip? Cyrus was grumbling to himself as he tried to organize the event's path. If there was a gray shadow, that was either most likely Pandora, or it is the culprit. Oh, wait. Oh, can you... Is it really possible that the music provoked murder? Can't wrap my head around the music being so motivated to something so extreme. I agree, I cannot condone the verifying of music. It is proven that music has therapeutic qualities, but controversially sounds like help to the ability caused by anxiety and other negative effects. In that case, maybe the motivation music was meant to make us stop thinking clearly. I definitely felt startled when it began. Perhaps the rhythm of music can affect your body. Given our experience with the motivation music, it was high-paced and like to cause the announcement blood-plumping excitement. I suppose those qualities could have been abused to activate a fight-or-flight response that would have it'll end up like this. Is that so? That wrench in music was certainly irritating for some to and produce such an increased reaction. To what end? Was the music really that motivating? Don't talk to me! Kanano spoke tightly gripped teeth. She looked disturbed. Lyle, what are you thinking? If I'm being honest, I don't know. Not a lot of scene to discuss. The only thing that caught my eye was the shred of paper in the spa pool, but it's completely ruined. I expected more of a keen observation from him, but Lyle was either stumped or too shocked to speak on the matter.
I admit this was for nothing, not shocking to see.
The words were unwavering, but Missy's voice was cracked and disjointed. Yeah, I can't believe it actually happened.
It's inconvenient, and to Pandora nonetheless. She held together quite strong. I'm certain her spirit would not have been crushed by a game of construction or fear. Alas, there was no use thinking in hopeful hypotheticals now that this has occurred.
Yeah. I was shaken at how artfully even the subject death Missy remained. And finally, lastly, Say. Say fainted as soon as she entered the spa lounge. Forte was kind enough to give her spare chair outside to regain strength. Okay, so we're not talking to her. I guess that's it. After investigating Pandora's body, I felt exhausted like none other. Never in my life did I think would I be experiencing something like this. This weight of the shock was malarkey of it bore heavy on my shoulders. Is there nothing else we can do? I wonder, did anyone happen to see anything else suspicious on their way over here? We all looked at one another, no one replied. Everyone was unstaying on edge, of course, no one wanted to talk. It appears we've been exhausted all hours of investigation here. Such a lackluster amount of clues doesn't bode well for us.
Yes, but if we've done, we can look into the scene. There's nothing but to discover Pandora's killer. Of course, that's easier said than done.
Grrr! Heard Ken grumble in the corner. She seemed distressed. Alrighty, I think we've given you all enough. We've played to get yourselves together. So it's time for the class trial. I hope you have enough ambition to shoot down the culprit. If not, then I guess you're all out of luck. There's an elevator on the main foyer that will cruise you all down to the special trial room. If you do not assemble to the elevator, I'll send out a radio translate that will release all the gas in your bracelet. You want to find out who did it, right? You don't want your lives to end before you even had a chance to defend yourselves, right? All that and more will be available for your group in the courtroom. Let's get a move on. I'll be seeing you shortly. The announcement went out as quickly as it can.
So this is really happening.
The group shifted anxiously.
Well, what are we even waiting for?
Ashley took the first strides out of the room, but not without giving Pandora one last somber look from the doorway. Forte gently eased Say awake, turning the gaze to the uncertain scene to help her as she hopped out. One by one, flitters out of the spa lounge, stood back for a moment to take in one last look at Pandora. She was such a kind soul. Who would kill her in canon? I want to know the motive here. We all stepped into a large elevator and began the darkness descent to the supposed courtroom. The elevator sailed noisily towards our unknown destination for what felt like an eternity. Silently we stood. No one dared speak. I lumped my throat from the anxiety, the fear of sadness. My stomach was knotted, my head dizzy, my heart aching. The spa lounge was meant to investigate came short, dude. Any useful clues. We were the only ones able to pursue 2 traces of evidence. One of the facts which was already simply stated in the victim report, and the other one was a secret note only few were aware of. Nervously was an understatement. I was at a complete loss. The elevator slid into a standstill, shaking me from my thoughts. The doors opened to reveal our reserves point. The suspicious dome-shaped room was toppling with a glass ceiling, a third of the foundation revealing the sunset sky outside our confinements. The walls themselves were burned in simply a matter of navy blue with rim lights illuminating the room. Across the wall was a grim picture representing Pandora. Her face profile had been crudely sticked with a violent pink X. Picture frame was positioned so that it looked almost hauntingly over a particular group of podiums. It was a black place. I think that there was a dedicated location wherever it was about to occur. Just where were we? Welcome, one and all, to the trial grounds. This and before you will be the key located for today's trial. So let's see some hustle, people. The announcement was what more incomposing in the courtroom, echoing through the dome chamber, each reverb almost pushing us into place. Steadily settled back, stood silent. At the stands we were placed crudely fashioned. Our faces, our fears, our emotions was exposed to one another. The atmosphere thick with anxiety was pale and crushing. I could feel my heavy heart pounding in my head. My palms were sweaty, yet I could feel a dreadful, eerie chill go up my spine. I tried to be strong, but my knees were weak. My breath was short. We were here because of one unmistakable fact. Someone killed her. Pandora Espray, the ultimate baker,
a gentle and caring person who wanted nothing more to share a good spirit and delectable treats with the world. Someone here was responsible for her death. And the only thing that kept me standing was the firm drive to figure out who heartlessly ended her life. A light began to flicker weakly from the center of the stands. The flickering gained strength as the shape began to take form within the light. Something like the shape of a person began to appear. Who the fuck are you? What? Welcome, one and all, to the courtroom. Who are you? What is that?
Who am I? What is that? Bah! Answers to the questions don't matter too much. Besides, I think you ought to get more pressing questions, and someone super bad has transpired. All you need to know is that I'm your lovely judge for today's trial. Okay, maybe I'm not a real certified judge or whatever, but I will be passing judgment on what happens today, and after each subsequent murder to come. Judge, but not really judge. It's too long, confusing, so you may call me... Zero. Why Zero? The hologram of a person named Zero presented itself, giving the face the voice of the killing game announcement. Class trial. Before we begin, I know this episode was probably really short. Yeah, it's only 20 minutes. However, I am going to save the trial for next episode, where I'll probably play the full thing. Oh. Yeah. So, yes. This is going to be the end of today's episode, but that is just because I am going to play probably the entire trial next episode. I don't want to do like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The victim reveal happened way quicker. If I knew that, I would have just stayed with my friend and did the victim reveal and then did the investigation trial this episode. But I'm not doing that because, I don't know, I guess I make bad judgments. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Peace.